Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review in Summoners War. We are in Raya Kazuki's account. It's a pretty early game account from the record because he has no gold star. He is in the G1 guild though, he has a red star. But we know that the red star you get from guild content is not really your record because you could truly be carried to get a higher ranking in that content. He said that he wants to know what he needs to focus on to play Siege and RTA more seriously. I'm assuming because of this record, he now wants to probably get the yellow star and then up. The thing is, if he's been actively playing the last 2-3 years actively, I think the first 6 years doesn't really matter too much because the amount of progress that you could get with the updated dungeons, updated R5 is so immense that if you have focused correctly in the last 3 years, I think he would have caught up a lot, even if he didn't play a lot the first 6 years. But we'll take a look and see if that really is true. I am a little worried because a lot of these accounts that are in this level have very similar issues, one being grinds. I want to see if his runes are being grinded, and two, this record is pretty low, so it makes me guess that his runes itself aren't going to be that high of a quality. Let's see if I'm right. Let's get right in. Let's take a look at monster box. Well, let's go check LDs first. Any LDs? No. Dark LD5. No. And then he does have that dark cyborg Roberta. And then he has dark Siri, so an option for a siege defense there, a meta defense there, and then he has Deborah, which will allow him to build some fast dungeon teams. Now, if I think his rune quality is low and he needs to get better runes, I will tell him probably to focus his rune to find or to build a fast dungeon team, primarily giants with the Deborah, but I'm pretty sure there's also a Deborah team that you can make for dragons. With the test jar, I think you can make a very fast dragons team. I don't know what his record is right now, but even a mediocre set gets like a 40-second run if you build it correctly. Let's see his dungeon runs. 50 seconds, you are running the Teshar team, but I'm pretty sure this is the fastest and you don't get this consistently. It also looks like you have to get a faster team for your dragons team because 2 minutes is a little too slow. You need more crystals because it looks like you have none right now. And I'm hoping that you're not just wasting them on summons because runes are very important, and we'll see that. Okay, he has Hacker. Oh, he has a lot of Nat 5s. That's really good. He has John. He said RTA and Siege, so I'm not going to really look at arena options, but there are some good counters here. The Fire Pure Vanilla Cookie, the Douglas obviously are very good counters. Masha is very good. Tessarion, Segment, Fire Monkey, Juno. He has a lot of options for good RTA units here. Adriana is there as well. The Water Puppeteer, Miles, Shizuka, more awesome. So I think he's going to have no issues building a good RTA team and also a multiple of siege defenses that are usable as well, seeing that he has so many Nat 5 options. He also has Leo, Tiana, which is great. Looking at this box, I mean, yes, there are things you're missing like the Pyeongchar and stuff, but being it populated like this, I will start looking at just YouTube videos in general. Probably if you want to make more meta defenses, you could look at higher level guilds than my siege content and see what they're running and try to mimic what they're running. But at the same time, it is very important that you consolidate the tower with the same defenses. So check out what your guild is running. It is pretty hard to get a good consolidated tower or idea with your guild when you're in a lower guild, especially G1, because first of all, a lot of the players in a G1 guild are not active. Yeah, maybe the high G1s are like semi-active to really active, but then the lower G1 guilds, half of the people aren't really playing. So those people tend to just put whatever they want, then they play when they want, and then they leave when they want. So even if the guild leaders or just the leaders in general ask them to stack their towers with this type of defense, they don't follow it. So if you really want to improve, I think I will find a more active guild. By going into a more active guild, it's going to be generically more competitive and there will be climbing. Obviously they'll reach a wall, but you'll learn more and you'll learn that stacking towers is a very common way that you could waste the opponent's attacks and then start getting wins. Let's go take a look at your runes. Let's see if my assumptions are correct. So let's take a look at Swift, slot 1, 24, missing grind. You already see that? The flat HP. You can argue that you're going to be rolling that, gemming that out for attack, then okay, sure. Next one, okay, 23, 22. Slot 1 is pretty slow. Okay, 25, that could be 26. So again, missing grinds. And then, ooh, you give a +5 to this 18, which is fine. I do notice that a lot of people get stuck with a particular rune, especially you're not getting fast runes with these Swift runes, even though if you farm so long. So you just, out of frustration, try to improve the best that you have. And at that point, that could have been a +18 rune. So you give it the legend grind. It's fine. I understand. But I hope you stop doing it, because obviously you have a really good option there now. Another good option there. But we see a common thing is that he doesn't have max grind. Same here, not that fast. Same here. Slot 6, ooh. So there's two assumptions, right? One being that he's not grinding his runes. Two, that his overall rune quality is gonna be low. And I was right on both. I don't think I really have to go in depth on seeing the rest of these, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same deal. Yeah, Violet Rune slot 1, again, pretty low quality. You have like one fast rune here and there, but overall, the quality of the runes are not quick. It does look like a F3, probably C1 type of rune, with the type of speed I'm seeing. Yes, a lot of people are gonna also argue like efficiency is a thing. That is true, but again, we saw two things. One, low quality of runes. Second, being grinds. If he doesn't have grinds on his good runes, how could the other runes be efficient? Yeah, just see, they just can't be efficient without grinds. So he has a lot of work to do. And I think it all starts from the team. If he makes a efficient, fast team, this is why I like early game players to focus on 1 or 2 dungeons max, including probably R5. Maybe 1 dungeon max and then R5, so that you could focus your best runes on a dungeon team, and then you could get the fastest time. If you get a faster time, if your wallet supports it, you get to farm runes really, really quickly. That's why high level players farm thousands of crystals a day. And you also see comments on my YouTube videos when I do these account reviews, people saying, 60k crystals, it's just like a month worth of crystals for people that farm a lot. Okay, a good despair rune there. I don't want to be too harsh on you, and I understand why you want to start playing PvP. You could play PvP at any point of the game. It doesn't mean that, to play PvP doesn't mean you have to have like god quality runes. You just have to have runes, right? With the units. You have the units, so that's great. You have the runes, technically, so that's great too. You will be able to find builds with these runes that might work. However, with the past 2-3 years, the amount of good runes that you could accrue from the dungeons have increased immensely. A lot of people don't want to agree with it, and it's less agreeable to people that played in the last 2-3 years. They never experienced the first 6 years. Maybe it's longer than that. When did the B12 dungeon even come out? I forgot. It could be longer, maybe 4 years. But for people that didn't experience the first 5 years, they know that the quality of runes that you get have increased immensely. So if there is an account that has farmed the last 3-4 years actively and had the knowledge to accrue and keep certain runes that are good that they know of. Some people don't even know that. They keep either everything or they just throw everything away because it doesn't have speed. But that's not the only way you keep good runes, right? Like I said, efficiency is a thing, and you guys are right about that. So it might not only be speed, especially for like those violent runes, those will runes, despair runes. Swift runes, I want to say it's mostly about speed. If they have that knowledge to keep those runes, to grind those, and if you compare the builds with those people and this account right now, I am pretty sure it's going to be miles apart. He is not going to be close in rune quality. Wow, look at that god rune. And even this doesn't have a +4. He has the grinds and gems. That's a god rune right there. So he does have 1-2 great good runes, a speck of golly runes. It's just that it's not, wow, look at that too. It's just not being grinded and gemmed. Why does your will runes look so much better than everything else? But still, Same problem, missing grind. Oh, you got your best score 57%. Wow. F3, 57% win rate. So maybe you know how to do it well. If you kept playing, who knows, maybe you would have gotten C1. But I want to say F3, C1 borderline. I don't want to say too much higher because I know your Swift runes isn't too quick. Maybe you'll have one fast set, maybe closer to 300 or a little over 300, depending on the unit you put it on. But I think, everybody in F3 or, C1 has a rune like that. So I don't want to say that's anything quick now. And your violent runes were pretty lacking. Your will runes were decent, but will runes isn't a main set. So you do have to get most of your speed from the 4 set, which I think you don't currently have. Your box is pretty small, which is good. Is everything scaled up? Well, almost. They're almost. Ooh, okay. We'll take out the Velodrol. No need to force yourself to use something that is not scaled up. This one is fine, but this one I'll take out. So that'll be your 1 speed booster right there. I'm gonna be adding stuff, but obviously you could clean it up. I just want to see what are the good units you have that you could use. Okay, not scaled up. A good counter Leica, and it uses an offset, so pretty good to put it in. I'm assuming that the units down here aren't scaled up because they're not fully built. Yeah. Riley, okay. So to be fair, like this box looks good. It's 20 units, 22 units. You probably do want to get rid of like 15 units, looks good. You have 5 water units. You could get 5 fire units, 5 wind units. I mean, it doesn't really work like that, but I mean, if you're going to force yourself to get rid of some units, I'll start there. You could keep your Escher as your 1 speed threat. Yes, even with this, it's not plus 200, even with that insane base speed. So like if this takes the will rune, and if you get a fast rune here, well, I guess that's not gonna work. Can you get a fast swift rune here? Never mind. Yeah, I mean, but again, Escher will be your one fast unit. You have a lot of wind units. I don't want to use Oliver because you're really slow. I don't want to take Sierra either. Okay, at least we got rid of 2 wind units. So that's what? 5 wind units now? 5 water, 5 wind, and then you just have to get rid of some fire units. Okay, that's a lot of counters. These are all counter units. I guess you could get rid of some. Let's just get rid of these 2 that I added at the end. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 is fine. Oh, that's 7. Sorry, it's 7. With the Rikku, but I want to keep Rikuni. Masha is a little hard to use right now in your level because it needs good rune quality. But we'll keep it. This looks like Swift, yeah. Okay, 18 units. We'll keep it like this for now, but this is the type of team I'll use. I'll probably first pick more. I'll first pick more, but then you're technically going second turn because you have really no follow-up, right? So I guess you have to play like Miles Rikuni or something. I think Miles Rikuni is a good first pick. I'll play a lot with Wind Panda. I'll play a lot with Tessarion. I think some of these should have your best runes. Because right now the meta is infested with a lot of passive. Kapsu, Fire Monkey. They all have a passive. So I think, taking Tessarion on your side is going to be very beneficial. Especially like if you're going to be taking Rikuni and stuff. Or Wind Panda. If you even look at your own draft, all of these have passives, right? So I think it's going to hurt you a lot if they take Tessarion. My draft consists of a lot of passives, so reason why I picked Tessarion on my side. Okay, for Siege, okay, 4 defenses. That's good. And I like this defense. I actually like most of these defenses. Are they complying with the guild? Is the real question. I can't really tell because the siege is actually going on right now. Maybe it looks like it's not. But at this level, having a few number of defenses is fine. I didn't really think that your guild will be complying with a certain defense in each tower because it is a G1 guild. It's hard to see that in a G1 guild. So just focus on creating good defenses, but not a lot. Because your rune quality really can't support, I think, more than 4 or 5 defenses. So I think 4 is a very good number. And the rest, I'll focus on offenses. So I'm hoping that you have, I'm hoping that you have, 4, 5, 6. 10 will be the best. 10 offenses here that you could rune up and use. Some of the few stuff that you could build that I use a lot and has a lot of success, and I'm pretty sure you have, is like the Garo Route Verd. I'm pretty sure you have it. There's no way you don't have it. I'll definitely be running that. Is there any other sniping? Did you have Wind Panda? You had Diana. So you could also run the Diana team that I always run, and I see success, right? This works well for me. I play with it all the time. You have Elias, so the Fang will be really good here too. You had Fang. Yeah, like that. Here you could take Veladrol, you could take Juno, depending on the defense. If you need strippers, it'll be Juno. If you don't need strippers, it'll be Veladrol for the immunity and more survivability. See how there's so many offenses that you could build? You have to build offenses. You have to get a good win rate to be supporting your guild. And really, when you're moving on to a higher guild, what they're going to be looking at is your win rate, and then obviously your rune quality and stuff. So I don't think right now you're going to be accepted to any high quality guild or a high level guild because your rune quality is so low. But let's say you do have the rune quality, they'll eventually look at your win rate. And if your win rate is not that great, then they will not pick you up. Just look at some of my videos. It looks like you don't have anything ready for the sniping comp because I don't see Taru. I don't see anything. You can make a Lucian team, although the Kona team is pretty slow because Kona's base speed is horrible. Do you even have Konomiya? Sure, you don't have Konomiya. See, you're missing some units. You want to build those units that you know that is good for siege offense. Okay, do you have Cassandra? I think you did. I said you had Cassandra, right? So you could bring out Cassandra here. Then do you have Sonya? I don't think you had Sonya, but you don't have to use Sonya. You could use something like Covenant, any other one-shot comp. You could even use this, kill one, kill another one, you'll get more stacks again. But Sonya does deal a lot more damage. Just keep that in mind because of her passive. Odin could deal good damage too. Just make sure that he has a rage build, not a violent build. Don't think that you could go a violent build and think you'll do 40-50k because with your rune quality, first of all, that's not going to be possible. And the damage builds like Fatal, Rage will allow your Odin to do 40-50k. Yep, but that was it. There's the 4 offenses that you should be building at the very least. It's a recommendation. You don't have to build it, but I'm saying that these work even in my level right now. I use it pretty much every week. Some people will say those offenses suck and they're not safe. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I get it. But they win, and I show you guys the wins. It's assuming that we have the same rune quality. It's really hard to get outsped with Brawook with the Garo lead because you do have a 30 lead compared to their 24 or 19 lead. Now, if you lose there is rune quality issues, but if you do outspeed, the chance of you winning is very, very high. This one is just a very good team against like speed scaling teams, the Leo team. Same with the Fang team, it's just very good. You have so much survivability. And here again, if you outspeed, you know that the opponent's defense is slow, but they should outspeed. And then if they're tuned correctly, your Cassandra's just snipe one, and then their Odin's just snipe another one. And whoever's left should not be able to 1v3 this team. Also, that is something that you have to see and know that, okay, if I have just that one unit left, I should be able to win. So it's also an eye. You have to know what you could go into with these teams. So it's something that you have to build and then play with and then learn what you win against and what you lose against. But that was it for this account review. It's very, very low in quality. The sad truth, it is. It's very low. You have to farm more runes. You have to farm more grinds. My recommendation is make one team, which will be Giants right now, and then make a solo R5 team and just be farming those 2 dungeons, perfecting runes, and then continuing on with your siege improvement in your current guild. I don't think you could go into a higher guild right now, but at least start by building offenses. You could start by building offenses, getting more wins, trying to consist of 10-10s in multiple weeks to see if you're really improving or not.